I saw them try to invoke the right of theft on me.
Sorry about all the subterfuge, but we can't be too careful when it comes to security around here. Don't be so eager, my darling. It reveals too much about your ultimate intentions. But yes, Vea would very much like to meet with you. You intrigue her, and your connection to her father could prove beneficial once she knows she can trust you. Redoin records. House officials keep track of everything. Incidents, commendations, births and deaths. Whether important or mundane, they detail it all in their registry. Vea believes the registry contains information about her brother Ulron. Don't sound so offended. You had to know your hands were going to get dirty eventually. You are dealing with assassins and politicians, after all. The local keeper of records, Lord Drono, is away, so security at his townhouse should be light.
Watch your step.
Are you stupid, or just hard of hearing? No matter. Tell it to the guard.
I need a break. Not much longer now.
I beg your pardon.
Still alive, I see. And since you're here, that means you weren't captured and Ulron was exiled. That can't be right. He's an exemplary officer and a good man. Plus, he's the son of a counselor. Why in oblivion would House Redoran banish one of their brightest stars? I can see that. There has to be more to the story, but I'm not sure how we get it. Still, you proved you could be trusted, and there's an abandoned cave along the coast. It's in the swamp and smells like rot, which makes it the perfect place to hide. They're supposed to wait inside, but she's bored. I know she's been sneaking out. You'll find her in the cave or just outside. Get to the swamp and find Vea. She's eager for any information about her brother. Vea would face too many temptations here in Balmora. Friends, favorite places, familiar sights and sounds, not to mention the proximity to all things House Redrun. Even the most thick-headed house guard would eventually stumble over her. Oh, don't thank me, hero. As long as you're useful and don't betray us, then we're engaged in a mutually beneficial arrangement. Well enough. Ulran and Vea used to sneak out to watch me train. I have a way with blades that fascinated them to no end. Eventually, our fondness developed between the three of us. And to think, I never even had a nick sound growing up. It's not like personal relationships are against the rules, though I suppose they are sort of frowned upon. Anyway, my assignments always brought me back to Vardenfell, so we were able to keep in touch and visit even as they grew older. Anything's possible, but the Ulran I know holds honor above all else. I can't believe he'd do something so dishonorable that the house leaders would demand his exile. We need to find out more about what happened. Vea's young, bored, and stubborn. Danger's a relative term, especially when you're dealing with relatives. Vea can make her own decisions. If she wants to risk getting caught by House Redrun, that's on her head, especially since she knows they've been searching that area.
You're sure it's Vea? House Redrun isn't emptying its coffers so you can chase your own tails out here.
You pay the war claws well, because the war claws are the best there is. We have the kitten scent. It's just a matter of time before my warriors catch her.
Of course, Ferrara. Just make sure she doesn't get out of the swamp. Ah, the Councillor's lackey. My mercenaries have spotted Vea skulking about the northern portion of the swamp, between my soldiers and Ferhara's war claws. Vea's brother. It's a sad story. Killed one of his own soldiers to protect an Ashlander of all things. I think they were being too lenient when they simply exiled him. But that's how they treat the privileged. Ulran always had an unnatural attraction to the Ashlanders and their savage ways. He felt that an Ashlander life was worth more than a Redrun life. The Council didn't agree with his assessment. This will all be over as soon as Ferhara finds Vea. Khajiit mercenaries of the highest order. For members of a lesser race, Ferhara's warriors are surprisingly effective. I employ them to bolster our forces. Between obligations to the Pact and other matters, House Redrun is spread thin of late. As you say. Ferhara's war claws take their contract as seriously as you do, however. Get in their way, and I can't guarantee.
Ferhara assumes the Councilor's minions will not present a problem for the war clause. Yes, Captain?
The Outlanders have been warned, Ferhara.
Ferhara enjoys a friendly rivalry as much as the next mercenary. But the Relef kitten belongs to... Forbade is such a complicated concept. It assumes that the rules are applied equally to everyone, and we both know the foolishness of that assumption. The war claws have a long... Captain Briven's trade secrets, you understand.
Stupid warclaw. By the three! You really shouldn't sneak up on a person like that. If you're working with those mercenaries, I assure you, you won't take me without a fight. Oh, right. Now you mentioned something about that. Look, I can't wait to hear what you learned, but the swamp is crawling with mercenaries. There's a cave to the northeast. We can talk there. Unfortunately, there's a mob of those beast people between here and the cave. I was going to try and sneak past them, but every time I get too close, I think one of them catches my scent. You're going to tackle that mob of fur and claws? I'm impressed. Meet me at the cave when you're finished. Meet me in the cave to the north when you finish with the mercenaries.
I can smell the dark elf kitten. Looks like we're the first ones here. I'm hurt!
Let's play this outsider!
Heal me!
Before more of them show up. What do you think of my luxurious accommodations? It's got dirt and rock, fungus and a poultry fire, all the comforts of home. Anyway, you said you had information about my brother, Oran. What did you find out? No, that can't be right. Oran's honorable and noble. He's a model soldier. What could he have possibly done to warrant being banished? What? My brother has always been interested in the Ashlanders. Even showed them a kindness the rest of the house doesn't approve of. But for him to kill someone, especially one of his own soldiers, something terrible must have happened. I know the tribe that Oran liked to help, brought them supplies and such. He'd go and visit their camp whenever our father wasn't paying attention. Will you go with me to talk to them? Wait.
She can handle herself just fine, hero. Vea, grab your things. It's time to go.
Go? Why? What's going on?
The Warclaws are marching toward this cave, along with half the House Redrin soldiers in Balmora. We need to go now.
Damn it! They must have followed us. I'll get my stuff.
Dealing with an arrogant, impatient, overconfident young woman. Now I know how my mother must have felt. We need to move. It won't take those damn cats long to find this place. The back tunnels. Better than heading out the front door and right into the main contingent of Redrin troops. Councillor Eris, one more thing. The back tunnels wind their way through territory that House Redrin recently acquired. We may run into some resistance, but it shouldn't be as bad as what's waiting outside the front of the cave.
Does the ceiling look unstable to you?
Search everywhere. Captain Privin thinks the Councillor's kitten might try to escape through these tunnels.
Damn! Those cat bastards are harder to shake than a blind date. This looks promising. Let's give it a try. Oh no, we're surrounded! And that's my father! What's he doing here?
Sweep the caves. If you spot Vea, report back to me. She's not
Father ruins everything! I'm so close to finding my brother and he shows up to... You do that for me? Thanks, I guess. Clever. Tell my father whatever he wants to hear. That might actually work. Afterward, meet me at the... Once I find Ulran and make sure he's all right, I'll meet with my father. But that meeting...
Halt! Who goes there?
Stand down. These outlanders work for me. The captain reported that he had seen... I also said that the captain has his own resources. The war claws report to Briven, not me. Look, we're all just trying to get my daughter home safely. Now, tell me... It was a gamble, I admit. An opportunity I couldn't let slip away. You won't make me feel guilty about trying to find my daughter. So, where and when will Vea meet with me? Very well. We'll do this her way. Vea can be as stubborn as her mother sometimes. But tell my daughter that my patience won't last forever. Next time, I expect Vea to be with you. Or I might just let Captain Briven do this his... Do as I command, and let them pass.
Outlander, how do you feel about mud crabs? A giant... We call them.
Our past is our... Greetings. Head to the north.
Aid me!
Icaria?
Welcome back. Excellent.
I foresee a profitable... It pains me to see our...
Well, those certainly aren't Ashlanders, not with those tails.
This is... disturbing. I can't believe this! Why allow the Warclaws to run roughshod over the camp like this? What's House Redoran thinking? And what in the name of the three have they done with the Ashlanders? My brother often visited this camp. Took me along a couple of times. It used to be such a vibrant place. So full of life. I know House Redoran wants to expand along the western coast, but I never expected they'd set the Warclaws loose like this. If Ulran was here, he'd never stand for the Warclaws invading the camp. He told me the Ashlanders were the same as you and I. Different beliefs don't necessarily make people bad. We need to see if we can find out what happened here. I really want to help, but Naryu won't hear of it.
Veya, I don't think this is a good idea. We're trying to keep you out of House Redoran hands, remember?
You're not my parent, Naryu. I can take care of myself, even if the Mother of Blades doesn't think so.
Damn it, Veya. You know I hate that title.
If I'd realized how popular this camp was going to be with Outlanders, I would have moved the tribe ages ago. You don't appear to be one of the heretical invaders, but looks can be deceiving.
What do you...
Ah, Ulran the Exile. He disgraced his family and lost his status, but remained true to his heart. Ulran is here. He tried to stand against the Redorans, just as they detained me within this yurt. I assume they dragged him off to the mine, along with most of the tribe who refused to let those tribunal dogs walk all over us. Or should I say tribunal cats in this instance? Be wary. The mine will be as protected as the camp, maybe even more so. It's a small hole in the ground, but it served us well until the Redorans and their Warclaws arrived. Now, get the key to the mine from either the Warclaws commander or the supply yurt, whichever suits your needs. Perhaps you'll find what you seek within Kudanot's depths. To keep the head and the body separate. As long as I'm here, I can't offer my people hope or advice, and I certainly can't compel them to rebel against these invaders. I have no doubt. However, my place remains with my people, at least for now. The Warclaws have treated me well so far. They believe I can make their tails fall off if I so choose. Who am I to dissuade such creatures from their beliefs?
What's that smell?
Veya, stay back. You don't need to see this.
What happened here? Oh gods, they murdered these poor Ashlanders! Oh no! Oran! Oran! Wake up, please! You can't be dead. You just can't!
Veya shouldn't have had to see this. Even I'm finding it hard to believe that the mercenaries would slaughter these Ashlanders for no reason. Not to mention the son of a house counselor. Doesn't make any sense. I suppose anything could happen in the heat of the moment. But to kill a Redrun, even an exiled one, that's presumptuous even for the war clause. I wonder if Eris knows about this. I'm not sure how Veya's going to get around. I've seen these before. They use them in Eastmarch to record and send important messages. They're expensive and as rare as a sober Nord. But Oron was always attracted to the contrivances of other cultures. Shall we see what it has to say?
If you're listening to my voice, know that my time is short, and what I have to say is important.
Brother, is that you?
Everything that happened was a deliberate act to discredit me. I need to report the events so my sister can learn the truth about her brother. You have to understand, I don't share my house's hatred and distrust of Ashlanders. So, during my normal patrol, when I heard that Ashlanders had come to Balmora and were causing trouble, I was dubious to say the least. I arrived to find one of my soldiers arguing with the Ashlanders. He spat at them, called them savages. When one of the Ashlanders objected, my soldier drew his sword. Before I could intervene, my soldier's blade struck him down. I ordered the soldier to stand down, but he ignored me and stepped toward the second Ashlander. I killed my own soldier. I had to. Before I knew it, I was dragged before the Redoran Council and exiled. I never even got to say farewell to my sister. I believe I was set up for this fall, but I don't know by who. I came to this camp for shelter, but House Redoran's reach grows ever longer. Now Captain Briven's here. I'm going to talk to them, just in case I made this stone for my sister Veya.
Oran! Damn it! What am I supposed to do now? Oran's not supposed to be dead. That wasn't the way this was supposed to end. What am I gonna... I still don't understand. Oran said someone set him up to fall. Who would do such a thing? And why would they do it? Oran never wanted to hurt anyone. So that's why they exiled him? That's why they killed him? He was too damn good? That's the problem? We've got to... Oh, I'll find them all right. And when I do, they'll pay for what happened to Oran. I swear by my...
I agree with Ulran's assessment. Certainly sounds like someone led him into a situation guaranteed to make him fail. I can't believe he put this burden on Veya, though. What was Ulran thinking? I didn't say that. Just not sure how to proceed. We're entering dangerous waters here, going up against House Redoran, and we don't even have a writ to protect us. I'm going to take Veya and head back to our safe house in Balmora. They found our cave, but the abandoned basement is still secure. After that, I'm not sure. We can't just kill with wild abandon. We follow a code. We only execute those whose names appear on sanctioned writs. If we kill respectable citizens without a writ, that's just murder. So, without proof and a proper writ, my hands are tied. You do that, but be careful.
How can I help you?
And so the Outlander returns. Complication? What kind of complication? I ordered my soldiers to stand down and let you do things your way. But instead of results, no, that's not possible. My son was banished, ordered to leave Vardenfell and never return. Why would he disobey me and go to those... Vea was with you? And you left her out there? By the three, everything is unraveling no matter how hard I try to maintain control. I need to tell my daughter I'm sorry. Tell her she needs to stay away until I can calm things down. I don't want to see anything happen to her. Promise me. If you'll excuse me, it was never meant to be an attack. I sent Captain Briven to clear land that already belonged to House Redoran. The Ashlanders were given an opportunity to depart. The situation didn't have to turn violent. Those damn savages should have just left. House Redoran has been slowly expanding in that direction for years. We claimed that area almost a year ago, but we were forced to temporarily abandon it when a massive ash storm hit. Before we could return, the Ashlanders moved in. Redoran depends on that land for hunting and resources. The Ashlanders are like a plague of insects. They sweep into an area, take everything, and move on. We couldn't allow them to do that here. So I sent Captain Briven to convince them otherwise. The captain serves House Redoran with honor and dedication. He's out doing his job. If Briven had anything to... I'll speak to Briven when he returns. But understand, the captain operated under my orders. He's an exemplary soldier and an upstanding member of the House. It was never meant. House Redoran. Redoran depends on that. The captain serves House Redoran.
Outlander, over here!
Now you told me what you found in the Ashlander mine. I can't imagine what Vea must be going through. Nayu has responsibilities to tend to. Morag Tong responsibilities. Understand? She left... You do understand! And one other thing. Nayu's job concerns House Redoran. That's why she didn't want Vea to accompany her on this one. Vea's grief-stricken, angry, and ready to lash out at anyone and anything, so keep your head low and try not to upset her. I have experience getting on a lot of people's bad sides. Women, especially, find me exasperating. Irresistible, but exasperating. It's a gift. Something about who Nayu's target is. Thinks the target may know something about what happened to her brother. Look, I'm not even sure how Vea found out who Nayu's target is, and I don't want to know. Just go and talk to her, please. Carefully, and with your hands empty and clearly visible. She's in the safe house beneath Balmora. Or at least that's where I left her. But I didn't lock the door, so I suppose she could be anywhere by now. I suggest you hurry and get down there.
Get out of here, Ashur. I don't need a nursemaid, no matter what Nari might... Oh, it's you. Did Ashur send you to check up on me? No, I don't think so. It's just been difficult. Finding poor Ulran in the Ashlander camp. I know, but Nariu's writ. It involves a Redoran councillor. Exactly the opportunity I've been waiting for. The councillor knows who set up my brother. We need to talk to her before Nariu executes the writ. Well, Nariu wouldn't tell me any specifics, but she trained me well. It wasn't hard to sneak a glance at the writ before she took off. Her target's at Arenum Manor, out in the swamp. Not far from that smelly cave, actually. I appreciate you agreeing to see what you can learn at Arenum Manor. My father used to say it was used by councillors as a retreat. But Mother always told me it was where they conducted business that required a certain degree of privacy. That's all I've been doing, thinking. And I think Ulran was right. I think someone wanted him out of the way, and they orchestrated the event with the Ashlanders to do it. Someone played my brother for a fool, and it cost him his life. Brivon's as stubborn as my father when it comes to following the rules and regulations of House Redoran. Ulran and Brivon were best friends, even if they argued from time to time. Politics, foreign relations, the Ashlanders, you name an issue, and Ulran and Brivon were probably on opposite sides of the argument. It got to the point where I had to ignore both of them or they'd drive me insane. You did? How did he take it? I mean, he didn't know that my brother was dead. Really? I suppose that makes sense. I think he loves us, in his own way. But what else did he say? Did he know that Ulran had been... He didn't expect... My father doesn't know his children as well as he thinks. Either of them. That's why I had to get away. Join the Morag Tongue. At least Nariu understands me. Mostly. I can't agree to that. I need to figure out what happened to my brother, who was involved, and then I'm going to make them pay. Just you watch.
I expected you hours ago, hero. It's not polite to keep an assassin. I was wondering how long it was going to take Vea to convince you to... I know Vea wants answers, but this is my job. There are rules, especially where the lords of the great houses are concerned. There might be a way to deal with this, though, provided you're willing to help. First, don't kill any Redrons. That's a violation of my writ and could have serious consequences for both of us. Second, you sneak around and search for anything that pertains to Ulron's exile while I figure out how to deal with the Counselor. We need to be invisible. These things work best when no one but the... It's unusual, but not unheard of. True, most writs. Councillor Dovera has been conspiring with House Drez to promote the slave trade and avoid scrutiny by Redrin and Pact officials. She played a dangerous but profitable game, and her coffers were overflowing, until someone noticed. I'm not privy to the laborious investigations that took place. In cases like these, though, the target usually becomes complacent and lets her guard down. She made a mess. Now I get to clean it up, for the good of Dunmer society. That's the question, isn't it? It nags at us the way the torchbug nags at the brave little scrib in those children's stories. Once we discover who Ulron's torchbug is, we'll have a clearer understanding of why they set him up, and why he had to die. I'm not saying that. Accidents happen. But they certainly made sure Ulron was in the wrong place at the wrong time, both in Balmora and again in the Ashlander camp. Brivon's name keeps coming up. At the very least, he was Ulron's best friend once. He might be able to shed some light on Ulron and what happened to cause his exile. And I really want to know what took place after Ulron left us that. Vea's my apprentice, and I'll decide when she's ready to take on a mission. She's been through a lot, and her actions reflect on me and my status in the Morag Tong. That's how it works. Her actions are my actions. Vea goes out and executes 3 writs. I share the credit and get praised for training my apprentice. On the other hand, if she kills someone without a writ, the Morag Tong takes both our heads. There have to be. My order came this close to being eliminated. It's only recently that we've started to make a comeback, and only in Dunmer territory. If we can't control the actions of our members, we'll be hunted down and destroyed for sure.
Wine is 30 gold.
This looks promising. Might even lead to the wine cellars. I could use a good bottle of wine. See what you can find pertaining to Urlon. I've got a dagger and a writ with Councillor Dolvara's name on them. If we don't find anything, maybe we can ask for an invitation to the upcoming council meeting. I'm sure they'd be happy to answer our questions. So House Redoran issued an advisory against the Morag Tong? That lot of good that's going to do the Councillor.
can't remember her name. The pretty one.
Damn the luck! I was hoping for a quick stab and go, but it seems the Counselor might actually know something about Ulron. So Councillor Dolvra does know something about Vea's brother. Damn it all! Now I suppose you want to actually talk to her before I execute the walking pile of pond scum. Of course we do. I specifically waited for you to arrive because I figured that would be the case. We discovered that the next meeting of the High Council will take place at the consulate outside Balmora. The war clause and the Ashlander abuse aren't completely sanctioned by the House, and Dolvera was present when Ulron was exiled. Not a bad haul. That means we have to get Dolvera to spill her guts before I spill her guts. Just...
He's not the sharpest arrow in the quiver.
Be quick with your questions, hero. When I slip in, so do my daggers.
Ah, you must be here about those pesky patrol schedules. After all that clandestine correspondence, it's a pleasure to finally meet you in person. Now, well, look at you. I'm impressed. The last person House Drez sent over was so much more scruffy. I have a meeting with House Halalu shortly, but I think I can spare a few more moments. The noble's banished son? Why does House Drez care about that? Never mind. Anything so we can get to the good stuff. Ulron was tested and found wanting. Chose the life of a savage over his own soldier. Ulron's dead? I hadn't heard. As to who was behind the test of Ulron's loyalty, what does that matter? He failed and paid the price for his poor choices. What does all this have to do with our arrangement?
You aren't clever enough or pretty enough to avoid what's about to happen, Dolvra.
What's the meaning of this? Who are you people?
I'm a Morag Tong with a writ that says you're a criminal and a traitor. That means I get to end your miserable existence.
Keep it down. You waste your dice for gold.
Take another look around, hero, and see if you can find anything else. More proof that Dolvra was in bed with both House Halalu and... That's Captain Briven's seal. I suppose our evil counselor courted favor wherever she could find it. The good Captain Briven appears to be more involved in Ulron's fate than I had imagined. He never struck me as the type to use murder and deceit to get ahead, but that's the problem with greed. It causes decent people to make stupid choices. Or he's trying to hide something. The letter mentioned an intact squad sent to scout the old fort. You need to get out there and see what those soldiers know before Briven gives them new orders and they disappear. I suppose she's probably...
all that stupid sweat to watch his back.
Isn't the best defense always...
It's a travesty the criminals walk free instead of... Now get lost, scum.
Back again? Took your sweet. What good is that going to do? They won't speak to us. House before family, more rules. I thought we were beyond those kinds of limitations. Look, I need to figure out... Riven was Ulran's best friend. Would he really betray my brother? So which soldiers are we talking about? I know most of the people my brother used to work with. Eyewitnesses are better than notes in the house registry. Provided I can actually get them to talk to me. There's no time to waste. That fort's near the cave where I was hiding. Last time I was there, the fort was crawling with cultists. We'll get Vatala and his soldiers... Let me gather my gear and write a note for Nariu. I'll meet you near the Hlormoran stronghold. The more I think about it, as far as I'm concerned, rules got my brother killed. They don't apply to me anymore. Besides... That's what the handbook says. Look, I know what Nariu's done for me. To keep... No, never. You and Nariu aren't my enemies. I just need to get justice for Ulran. Otherwise his death will be the first... I know Vatala. He's a typical Redoran soldier. Loyal to a fault. Always... Ulran had a habit of putting the needs of others ahead of his own. He probably told Vatala and his soldiers...